apparently this Kevin Samuels is well known in the community, the black community, concerning relationships and that kind of thing. And so, I'm looking at him and I'm like, you seem like a Freemason, like Louis Vuitton bag strapped around you. When I think of a man of God, I don't think of them having a Louis Vuitton. I mean, a lot of the times you pick up these kinds of people's spirits because they have this kind of like air about them, like they're wise. They're wise in their own minds. That's what they are. And God talks about that. He's like, don't let anyone be wise in their own minds, because if they do, they're going to fall. And that's because that's self-exaltation. Like any wisdom that we have, it comes from the Most High. What we need to do is really just give the Father credit for that, because Jesus didn't care about material things. So why would his children? That doesn't go to say that we don't have material things and that we don't like nice looking things, but you can get a really decent leather bag from the thrift store that will last you, 10 years without it saying Louis Vuitton. I don't trust anyone who's too into brands and labels unless there's something, maybe they're looking for quality behind it, and that's it. So I went to go check out this guy's videos. And I was like, yeah, he's doing all the Freemason signage. This girl gets on his show and they're talking and she's like, oh, I deserve this, I deserve that. I don't want to, take care of the home that much, or want the man to take care of the home. And then she was talking about she didn't want to work either. And then he goes, I hate women like you. I get it. Like, she really should either want to take care of the home or she needs to work. Like, you can't just like sit pretty and do nothing. I mean, that's not realistic. However, to say I hate women like you is so excessive. It's so excessive. It's not necessary to say something like that to get your point across. Homie gives himself a rating of 9. He's calling some people high value, some people low value. And I want to know, what standard are you going by? Because that is not how God does his work. You should see the pictures of these women that they have. Like, they're models, like they're pretty women. They're usually curvy and they're like, this is a high value woman. And I'm like, this is not what high value is. And it's not even like owning a business or anything like that. In God's kingdom, the quality of the person is dependent on how obedient they are in truth to the Father. And you will know them by their fruit. They're going to have peace, love, joy, that kind of thing. They might not own a business. They might not have a degree from Harvard. But at the end of the day, they have a really amazing spirit. And inside of them, they've got a good heart. And so this is the difference between a man like Kevin Samuels, a Freemason, a warlock, someone who's out here to deceive people, who cares about material things, who looks at outward appearances and says, you got a 9. And then a man of God who's looking at the heart like God does. He might look at outward appearances, but not to the extent where he would just start devaluing people. And so we need to know the difference, because there seems to be a lot of Christians that are getting deceived by this man and this whole camp, really, and they're here to deceive. And so start reading your word. Understand what the heart of God is, what he's looking for out of his children, and how maybe other people just don't align with it, because we don't want you to get deceived.